Greetings from the Erie Coast. This is Mad Shad and Charity. I'm cooking up some stir fry. Would you like some? Come and get it. And I got some shrimp right here. Oh yeah, good shrimp. Anyway, whoa, it's getting kind of warm here. So anyway, what are we going to talk about today? War. Huh. Good God, y'all, what it is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again now. Huh. Oh, damn. Whoa, 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 whoa. War. Check out my shirt. Cool, huh? Thank you very much to, I got this in the mail. It's really cool. Thank you very much. I'm really enjoying it. You guys know who you are. Hoorah, Simplify, Yut Yut. Also, I received something else really cool. This thing. Hey, gotta have an EGA, right? So, this is a beautiful, right? Really cool. On the back of it, it has something called the Armed Forces Prayer. I really like it. I've never heard this prayer. Never said this prayer. But I'm going to say it today. Grant me the strength to do my duties and serve my country with honor. Please watch over me and remind me that even in war, may I keep clearly before me the defense of all human rights, especially the right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Grant me the courage to face America's enemies with determination and valor. Thank you very much. That is badass. It really is. I really don't have a lot of stuff like this. You know, even though I was a Marine, it's just, you know, not really anything that I hung on to, right? I lost a lot of stuff in storage. You know, I had a little box, and like a, I guess you could call it like a fishing box, you know, fishing tackle box. You know, the plastic kind with all the little inserts in there. And I went all over the world and amassed all these little trinkets and rocks and teriyaki and money. Anywhere I went, I had to have I wanted the paper money and the coin money, and so that's what I did. And of course, you know, I had some of my old ribbons and badges in there just for redundancy. That's how I started. That's how it started out. Was, you know, keeping all my ribbons and badges and EGAs. You know, all that uniform, all that fancy uniform stuff. You know, your chevrons and well, you know, I lost all that. That's gone. It's been auctioned off to somebody. Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, how much that money is worth now. I did. I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to say. But wow, this is some big ass shrimp. Charity is just hanging out with me. So, war. Now, I don't know if I've told you guys before, but I went to the Ukraine back in the 90s. We did. I can't for the life of me remember when. I think it was on my first med float. We went all the way into the Black Sea. We went to Romania. We went to Ukraine. Yes, I've been to Transylvania. Yes, I've been to Dracula's castle. I was only there for like a day, but I did get to walk around in the wilderness. You know, Ukraine is. Oh, I'm sorry. The Romania. It was supposed to be like this kind of dog and pony show. This, training with the other, friendly training. And at the time, the Ukraine went to Odessa. Oh man, I went to Odessa. It was only allowed there, like, there was no overnight libo. Bunch of Marine grunts walking around. I got pictures of me. I was in my Charlies. The Charlies are the khaki shirts with the blue pants and the hat, the white hat, and they're short sleeve. So I went to a casino. I got conned out of all my money. It was a beautiful city. Odessa was a beautiful city, man. Beautiful city, beautiful people. At the time, they were the whole city was filled with this symphony orchestra music. They were having this place has culture, right? Thousands of years of culture, right? And they were having a fucking outdoor and symphony orchestra, worldwide epic proportions. Girls were walking around in their evening gowns, and guys in their suit and ties and tuxedos, and it was. And here we are, Marines, walking around in our I don't call them dress Charlies, but yeah, they're called Charlies. In our uniforms, our shore clothes. We were looking pretty sharp, pretty snazzy. But on top of that, we got to hang out on a Ukrainian army base with the Ukrainian army, and they put us up in a squad bay. I don't remember if it was just a company size or if it was the battalion. No. Yeah, it was company. It's company size. Charlie Company 1, 2. So company size, yeah. All of us hanging out, working out. We got to shoot their guns. We got to blow stuff up. Got to fly in their helicopters, and they got to play with our gear. We had some badass MVGs, and that's when we first came out with the 7 Bravos. You guys know what that is, MVGs. And I actually got on. I'm in the world news. That's what I was doing. We had to lay everything out, and we had to memorize this spiel, and so you're sitting there like this, and somebody comes up and boom, this is the MVG, 7 Bravos, da 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 da, and you just go down the whole nomenclature and description of it, basically. And the BBC was there, videotaping everything. So I made the news, the world news. All right, totally different. I didn't have any of this, of course. I believe I was 19, 20, 21. I don't know. I forget. Forget how old I was. But that was my thing. Everybody else got their guns. We got to shoot their guns. They got to shoot ours, and got to train. Oh, the food. They fed us. They gave us a breakfast every morning. They insisted that we have a breakfast, that they serve us breakfast, and they had this huge. I don't want to call it a chow hall. I don't want to call it a chow hall. I want to call it a banquet room. And you came in, and you had a number, and this is your number. This is your seat. And you sat here, and these 2 women, I'll never forget it. These 2 women were like 7 foot tall, complete with their hair. And their arms were big. Everybody was brushka, and that was their thing. And you sat down, and you had everything was set up. You had china you actually had plates and cups and glasses and, you know, all this stuff, you know, and here, you know, we're dirty fucking grunts, you know, used to eating with our hands and, you know, MREs and shit, and here we are having to, you know, which fork is this? You know, which spoon is this? Oh, this is for cracking your egg. Oh, this is for stirring your tea or your coffee. You know, I'm like, okay. And they had this coffee. Whoo, man. Oh, let me tell you. It was Bruska coffee. Because these women, I mean, everybody came in here, right? I mean, the whole freaking company size freaking banquet room, company size, us and them, and whoever the Ukrainian army equivalent, I don't even know, I don't even remember, but they were badass, and yeah, these, you know, certain women, certain servers in certain areas, you know the thing, and you know the thing. My butt's been wiped. But well, I would go, may I have some more coffee? Oh, you like Bruska coffee? Like, yes, I like Bruska coffee. I mean, it's just black. I mean, just black. But but when you tasted it, it hits you just I mean, just bam. And it had a nice flavor. It's hard to explain it. It's really hard to explain the coffee. And don't ask for creamer. Don't ask for sugar. Don't ask for any of that. I mean, it's, you know, the Ukrainian people, man, they were very proud and very Draeger. I mean, very Draeger. I mean, very, very just, even the women, you know, any kind of sign of weakness was insulting. Really. So don't ask for cream. Don't ask for sugar, you know. I mean, you're expected to just eat and drink what you're given. And no complaining, no asking for anything of that nature. So it was, and they were like, yeah, Bruska coffee. Ah, you like Bruska coffee, you know, because they're wondering when we're going to say something, you know, whatever. And you know, I don't know. I'm sure it happened, but I thoroughly enjoyed the coffee. It was kind of like a tea, but it was very robust. And it was stout. Like you drink it was a little cup, you know, little China serving. I mean, it might even had some gold around it. But I mean, you take one fucking, I mean, the whole cup for me, 3 gulps and it's gone. Glop, glop, glop. You were ready. You were ready. Some Ukrainian coffee crack. I don't know. It was good. But just great people. I mean, they put on a show for us. They had an auditorium. It's kind of embarrassing. Because I mean, they were doing their songs, and their, you know, it was a lot of, I mean, the men are like 7 foot tall, you know. I mean, they were getting it, man. You know, with just very, very, very Ukrainian. And then they had some girls. They had like little bitty girls in their little leotards, and they were doing gymnastics. I mean, fucking flying through the air. They love their gymnastics over there. And we were Marines, kind of rowdy. And some of the girls, they had women in there too, and they were doing their thing. And every time that somebody would do something, I know, we were like, we just got up and just, I mean, the whole, like, imagine, like, it at first it was insulting. At first we were getting yelled at by our fucking, you know, our NCOs. fuck are you doing? Stop that! Stop that!" But it just kept going, and next thing you know, everybody was doing it, right in the auditorium, and then the people up in the on the theater, they started doing it. So I know we're pushing this Arsenio Hall thing, dog pound kind of shit, and but they started doing it, and that was the thing. Now is when we went out or whatever, and you'd be walking by one of the Ukrainian army guys or whatever, they would walk up to you, go. Give you that little. They loved it. They loved it. At first, it was kind of considered an insult because we were like, it was very rowdy, you can imagine. And it was the brothers that started it. It really was. It was our dark green Marines, and it just took off. Everybody started doing it, and instead of clapping, I guess we were supposed to go, bravo, bravo, oh, that was very nice, yes. Now we're like, we loved it. We were digging it. So this whole thing behind the Russians and the Ukrainians, tell you the truth, and we were there. Now, mind you, we were there because this was back in the 90s. They wanted to be a part of NATO because being a part of NATO had a lot of perks, right? I mean, it's, and at the time, Russia they were going through their whole thing. Their whole social, what's that guy's name? Was it Likoka? Anyway, we had successfully destroyed the USSR and basically bankrupted them, and from there they started rebuilding and having a type of Western kind of freedom, and the people were just craving Western stuff, and so as a evolution, they were kind of stuck in like a punk rock 50s kind of thing. Everybody had their little swirly greaser heads, and they wanted leather jackets and blue jeans. You could sell a pair of your blue jeans. It didn't matter what they were, what kind they were. It could be Levi's or Armani's. And I swear to God, you could probably get like $500 for them. I mean, it just, so I tell you, when different militaries meet each other and have to we're doing this, meet or greet, training together. There's trading. There's always trading. I remember I got a little bayonet, a bayonet / knife, Ukrainian bayonet knife. I gave them a Timex watch, the old Timex wristwatch. They love that shit. They were like, oh yeah. And I got a pair of boots, both of which throughout the years I have destroyed. The knife I broke and threw away. The boots, I wore them until nothing was left. So, but I know, Charity, I know. Like, come on, feed me. I'm working on it. I'm trying to plate this up. So, and the thing was that the Ukrainians that were there, I mean, they're military. I mean, military bearing, everything. They had it on lock. They were no joke. They knew what they were doing. And the reason why they knew what they were doing, they told us, is that a lot of when they were part of the USSR, the Ukrainian people, Ukrainian men, most of the Spetsnaz, yeah, those guys, were from Ukraine, and they came back after, the split to, go back home, right? And when they did, they joined the Ukrainian army as advisors and trainers and stuff like that. So they were getting revamped as a full-fledged military, and they were legit. They were absolutely legit. They had everything. They had everything they possibly could. Any army could, any military. Rather small, but it was legit, I have to say. So having experienced that, and the people, and everything, it's just amazing to see how all this is going. We know Putin, all right? Vladimir Putin. When I first seen him, and he took power, and he was, first a thing, right? Something about him, I said, watch this man. I mean, he is ex-KGB. No, he was KGB. All right? He was the KGB. Just like our George Bush Sr. was CIA, director of CIA. Vladimir Putin was KGB. So yeah, no joke. They're no joke. Putin is no joke. So good. So to watch this go down, Putin he has always wanted a reunified USSR. Not in the sense of, say, Stalin-esque or Lenin-esque, because the Russian people, the Russian society, the Russian way of life now is pretty cool. I mean, yeah, there's corruption, but it's kind of, they have their taste of capitalism, and they like it. They really do. So, hey, whatever. It's a mixture of, state and it's still kind of, authoritative. But the Russian people, they have a saying, it's called, they have broad backs, they can carry a lot. They can deal, and they have tough skin. They can deal with a lot. So, they're going to do what they're going to do. And they have another saying, sucks for you, my friend. So, and yeah, there were Russians there in Ukraine. They were watching everything intently, obviously. So what is the point of all this? What is the point of picking a fight? Because, yeah, Russia is kind of, I don't know if they're moving in really on Ukraine. But, the Ukraine and Russia had a healthy kind of relationship. But when you when Ukraine started talking about NATO, and NATO was actually like, hey, it would be a great idea. Russia had already been defeated. I'm sorry, the USSR had already been defeated. They were defeated economically. They stole trillions of these fucking Amerikansky guys. I forget the guy's name, but they stole trillions of dollars. That's why what happened there. The fall. It was was the Americans, man. They came in and just took all that money. I forget how, I forget the ways and means that they did it, but yeah, it was it was something else. Bankrupt the country, which wasn't really, you know, that hard to do actually, but still. Oh no! Here's a shrimp for you. After I just sauced it up. Okay. All right. Doesn't that look good? Yeah. So the point is, why, when you talk to one person over there, Russia, Ukraine, you know, they've been fighting on the borders for a long time. There is lines that Russia cannot cross. I don't care how many troops they got. You know, the Ukrainians got troops too, and they're starch patriots, man. They are dug in, and if you're fighting age male, or even if you're not, you're working. You're pulling guard duty, you know, at these literally at these, they've got trenches cut, dug in, you know, with machine gun nests and mortars and artillery and missiles, and I mean they got it all. The tanks, drones. I just seen a yeah, there you go, for you, enjoy. Just seen a drone. They just did a drone strike on a Russian, just a Russian soldier just casually walking by. No. And the drone flew over and just dropped a bomb on his head, and blew him away. I might post that. It's Funker Tactical. But they've been messing with each other for a long time. Needs more salt. Pink Himalayan salt. Yes, indeed. But Russia just doesn't want Ukraine is Russians' Cuba. All right? If we had a place, like, how would you feel right now, right here, if the Cuban Missile Crisis continued? Not good. Not good. Even though Cuba was its own sovereign country, even though we have bases over there. We have a presence. We have a force there. That was our line in the sand, right? You know, Cuba and the Soviets were gonna put some freaking ICBMs over there. Oh shit! Not good. So that's what Ukraine is, especially if they go NATO. You know, and it's going to be bad. That's the NATO plan, was to occupy and build up a force that can do a direct action, you know, on Russia and threaten them, which they are already. We already have troops over there. We got National Guard, we got Special Forces over there. You know, they've been going over there for a while, actually. So it's been carrying on. I also heard that, unfortunately, that we overthrew their government and put in our own little government. And of course, we all know about the whole Biden and Hunter thing that went on over there. It's that crazy debacle, and the underground tunnels with kids. I mean, come on. Oh yeah, and Biden, Joe actually, he did some shit over there. I mean, and he confessed to it. There's audio tape of it. I mean, where he's bragging that he made this guy quit and this guy get, just by saying this and that. And so, they've been playing in Ukraine for a long time. It's sad what happened, really, because Ukraine, they just want to be left alone. You know what I'm saying? It's the people. It's all it is about the people. It's and that's the other thing is the world elites. This is all tied in. This is all tied into the world elites and the new world order and all that shit. The world regime that wants to take over the world. See, Russia is a major threat. Russia, Belarus, and the associated countries that are allied with Russia, Iran, North Korea, China, all these places. I mean, they're a major threat to the plan, and we know what the plan is. Oh yes, the Great Reset. Oh, you will own nothing, and you will be happy. Build back better, right? Well, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and a slew of other countries that are, parts of Africa, they're not on board with this shit. They flat out refused. This is for charity. Here you go. Her little shrimp. No spices or herbs. Just cooked shrimp. Here you go, Charity. Enjoy. Up, come here. Yep. Sit. Stay. Stay. Oh, I dropped it. Sit. Nope. Stay. Good girl. Enjoy. That's taking me a while to teach her that one. Because usually when I throw food down, she's like pushing me out of the way, giving me an elbow so she can get in there. So I just teach her, sit, stay, so I can give her food and then walk away. So yeah. Yeah, so that's it. That's why, and we hear this rhetoric on our side, right? Oh, Russia this, Russia that, Russia this, Russia that. This is the line in the sand. Rah! Joe Biden went over there and told Putin, gave him the what for. No. No. We already know what happened. Nothing. They had a nice conversation. We're joking and shit. I mean, you don't have a meeting like that and just start yelling at each other. That's not productive. Yeah, sure, they express their concerns, but a lot of times it's these meetings between leaders like that. It's already been done. It's like it's not just two people, two leaders. It's a whole bunch of people that are talking to each other and figuring shit out and getting it down before these two guys even talk. For them it was a event, a world event where Biden and Putin talked. So what? They didn't talk about nothing. They didn't talk about shit. They didn't. It wasn't. It isn't what we're being told, and we all know that. Especially on all platforms, it's all about the misinformation, right? They want us to go to war willingly, and they're ready to lie, cheat, and steal to get it done. The propaganda machine is in full force. So, Charity, no. Go. So, my dinner is done. my dinner, my supper, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to eat now. I'm going to enjoy it. And Charity's going to enjoy hers. Well, she's already enjoyed hers. But I just wanted to touch on this. You know, this was what's been going on and what is going to go on. Man, it's going to be rough. Because if they can get this, and you notice China and Russia, I mean, they've banded together as they should, because it's the Western allies, the whole world elites, this coalition of the willing, if you will, are going to go to war with China and Russia and all their allies to take over the world. I mean, they're the last. We've already been done. I mean, our military is going to do whatever they tell them to do. You know, they won't do nothing over here on our soil. Not yet, anyway. But to go overseas, yeah, sure, absolutely. And we've been doing that for since our conception. You know, instead of fighting in-house, it's better to channel our aggressions off the reservation, if you will. So, yeah. But that's kind of a backfire because we have, how many veterans? Like 18 million? And counting and growing. So, yeah. So, this has been Mad Shad. Encouraging you all to continue to train, continue to prep. Because we all know it's a mad, mad world out there.